There is one other caller on the call.
Hi Sam.
Hi, Kichari.
Good evening.
Good evening, good morning for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I think we're ready. Yeah. What shall we do today, Kichari?
Today we'll do a capacity leveling.
Capacity level. Okay.
Yeah. We'll go to the planning yesterday what we had done. So yesterday based on the here if you look at 1,000 location planning for the product 2320. So based on the demand we got from the ship to party location, we have generated orders. Okay, these orders will occupy some resource. Okay, means this order has to be produced in some other resource. So if you check what resource and how much it has occupied, we'll come to know that the capacity leveling will come into the picture when this order is occupied in the resource. If that is occupied more than the capacity of the resource, then you need to balance the capacity. That balancing can be done through capacity leveling.
Okay.
Let's see first how it is occupied. This is the orders yesterday we have generated. Let's see how it is occupied. How to check on which resource it was occupied is you need to go into the PDS and check what are the resources are assigned for this product. Master data PDS, display PDS. Now if I check the SNP PDS, I'm exploring that. Go to the operation, check the resources. This is one resource and there is another resource also there that is in the operation too. This one, test 1 and test 2. Now we'll check the capacity, how much it is occupied in the capacity planning book. Go to the second data view. Here you need to choose header as a resource. Previously we have chosen product location combination. for the planning purpose. Now for the resource purpose, you need to select the resource, and here also select the resource and give the resource name. This is our resources. Star means starting with just all will come. So we have two resources. Now if I double click on the first resource, so based on this orders, it is showing how much it is occupied. For this 29 bucket, the day 2/9/2014, it is occupied 140 quantity. Sorry, 140 capacity consumption. Means the percentage it is occupied as 608. So actually per day it is required, it can handle only 23 hours, but it is occupied 140 hours. Here 23 it is under balance, 20 only occupied. So the percentage occupation is 86%, that is okay, but here it is occupied more than the capacity. In these cases only you need to split this order into the next buckets wherever the capacity is free, like here it is little free, here it is little free, like that. Wherever it is free, it can split this order into the next buckets. If you see in the next resource, it is also occupied more than the capacity. Here the capacity is 115, but is occupied 20 hours. Capacity is percentage wise 365 percentage it is occupied. The next bucket it is free, no problem. The capacity is 115, but is occupied only 60. So to handle this one, we have a capacity leveling. Through that capacity leveling, once you run the capacity leveling for this resource, then it will split that order into the next buckets. It will push that order into the next buckets. We'll see how we can handle that capacity leveling. This is the capacity leveling.
Okay.
I will go inside. So it will run on a planning book, capacity planning book, that is 94.2 is showing. That is a capacity data view. It can run only on that data view. So you have to choose a capacity data view only for running this capacity leveling, and date, from date to date also you can choose for that, so that it can run for that horizon only. And here the give either selection ID or give a manual selection. Here we want to run example 000 and the resource, these two resources.
Test one. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. And here there are some, you can choose this as a profile or you can choose directly here. So what are these methods? Generally it is a heuristic method or optimizer method is there. We generally go with the heuristic method, or if you want any new logic, then you can build through a buffer and then you can assign here through a paddy, but otherwise generally it will be a heuristic. And here the scheduling directions are available. One is forward direction, one is backward direction, one is combined forward plus backward. What does it mean? If you go into the planning book, forward direction means this will push into the forward only, means in the next buckets. If it is backward, this order, extra order will be pushed back. will check in the back direction. Forward plus backward means it will check in the both way. First it will check backward, then it will check in the front. Okay, that is this. Otherwise you can choose both, forward plus backward. So wherever it is find the capacity, free capacity, then it will push. And here percentage, this is 100%. So whether it has to consider all this 100% available capacity as a 100%, or if you want to consider, if you want to reduce that one. If you put a 80%, then out of 115, it will consider 80% only as a available. So it will maybe come to 100 hours per day for the calculation purpose here in the program. So I'll choose I will go for the 100%. And here you have a how the orders can be split. Means actually here we have only one product, for that only it is occupied. But in real time, if you see, there will be several products. So with all these several products, orders will occupy in this resource. So total together, it may cross the available capacity. So if it is here, it is showing as a 420 occupied, it may be with the several products. In the real time, if you see, it may be with the several products. Then while it is pushing into the next buckets, which product, which order it should pick. 5 orders are there, which order it should push into the next buckets. That you can choose here. If you have a priority, then you can go with the priority also. With priority means it will choose next one. Whether it is ascending order priority, it has to select, or descending order priority, it has to select. If it is ascending means priority 1 will be select first and will push. Then if the order is not come under capacity, means if it will push the priority 1 capacity into the next buckets, then we will check that it is under control or not. If it is not, again we will check the next priority product and we will try to push into the next buckets. So like that, it will choose on a priority basis. If it is descending, then less priority product will select first, and the next less priority product will select. So where do we define these priorities? If you go into the material master MAT1, this SNP top, here you can choose a priorities. Least priority is 255. 0 is the all least priority. After that, least is 255, then 254, like that. Priority 1 is the highest priority, 2 is the next highest, like that. So the priority you can choose till 255, 256. If it is 0, it will consider as a 256 least priority. So if you want to choose as a priority basis, then you have to define all priorities in all the products. If you don't define anything in the product, it will consider that as a least priority. Okay. And here there is a order size also there. Again here ascending to descend. If it is ascending to ascending, then first it will pick the least order size, means which is having a less in number. Then the next least order, then next least, like that. If it is descending, then it will first pick the order which is having the highest quantity and will push and will check the capacity again, like that it will push. But if you generally this will work if you have a more number of products, but in our case we don't have, just I'm choosing a without any priority. it will randomly picks and sends. The same order will split into different orders. Okay, and now if I run this capacity leveling, how it looks, let's see. It has run.
Test one run.
Yeah, small reds are there.
Production.
Overloaded here, that it find overloaded and it may be split into the next buckets. Let's see how it looks. This is the over capacity occupied. It does not run anything. It is finding but not shifting that. Let's see what exactly we are chosen here. Okay, 1 second.
Okay, no problem.
I think I will run again next planning. Let me see. Yes, I understand now. What happened here is previously, I think now it will adjust. Let's see first this one. So it has adjusted.
What happened?
What was the issue previously is this is under this SNP horizon. So in that one generally orders will not, the programs will not touch. So it was unable to adjust that order. So when I run, the new orders are created after the horizon, that is here. Then it got adjusted in this capacity leveling. So it has adjusted to the next buckets. So if you observe here, it has occupied only 20%, even though there is a 23 hours are there, it has occupied 20. This is because if you check the secondary source, there may be during adjustment maybe it find next buckets are free, that's why it just adjusted. or there is a fixed lot size. Based on that also it will adjust. There is a fixed lot size, so it has to choose whether fixed lot only whenever it is adjusting. So that's why it is adjusted 2020 capacity. If you check the planning now, this 42 will be split into the next buckets. See here, 6,000, 6,000. So there is a lot size is there. That's why it is only 1,000 quantities are there. That's why it is occupied only till 80%. Okay. So here like that it has adjusted. So it has gone to the forward only, even though you have a backward. You have backward, this much of capacity is free, but still the order is split into the forward only. And here also we have chosen a backward plus forward, but it has not gone to the back. This is because in the back you have a fixed horizon. This SNP horizon you have fixed, means in that one no orders will generate. The program cannot push into this horizon, so it has pushed into the forward direction. So but here you have to careful. One thing is, once this has run, this capacity leveling is run, so when you check the planning again now, so the demand will not match with the orders, it's receipts elements.
Yes, very
So
true.
there is a demand, but still you will see there is only few orders are generated. It's not full generation. Here there is here you can find still some deficit. Till here you can find a deficit. So that's why you have to make sure that after capacity leveling the planning results will change. If any users ask, you can tell him that this may be reason, the reason may be like a capacity leveling might have been run or something. You have to check the process first, whether the capacity leveling has been defined or it has been given to the user. So this how the capacity leveling is. It may not run for all the resources, even though it is occupied high. So it may run for the few resources which are critical, and it can run through as a planning job, or it can be given to the user. They themselves will run the capacity leveling whenever they require. They want to run a capacity leveling, they can go and run this. It depends on the project to project. Here the two settings are there. One is level fixed orders, means generally fixed orders will not be considered will not consider this planning. It will keep like that only. Order is fixed means you cannot planning or any other things will not change that order. It understands that the order is created by user manually. There could be some purpose, that's why it will not touch. But still, if you want to change the fixed orders also, then you have to click here. What is mean by fixed order here is, like example, I'll go into the change mode here. So if I double click on this order, here this is a fixed column. There is no fixed here.
Okay.
But if I generate any order manually, here if I go and generate 8,500, so this order becomes as fixed. See here, OX came, means this has given me as a manual. Manually I have entered or created this order, so it will come as a fixed automatically. So program generally heuristic program will not touch these fixed orders. So while running the capacity leveling, if you want to touch fixed orders also, then you have to choose this one. And the second one is set fixed orders. Fixing is, once this is capacity is done, capacity leveling is done, like it has pushed the orders into the next buckets. Then once it is done, you can make that orders are fixed. Then in the next planning run, it will not be changed. Depends. If you don't want to change the orders which was adjusted by the capacity leveling, you can choose that option so that once the capacity leveling run, it will come as a fixed. Now we have not chosen, so it will come as a non-fixed. Okay, that depends on the project to project.
Okay.
Okay, so here how the capacity is considered. So here you can say that 6000 is equal to 20 hours. Total is 23 hours, 6 hours is equal to 20 hours. How can you consider that as a 20 hours?
Okay.
So if you go into the ECC,
Kishori?
yeah,
Seeing this example where you just gave, if I compare this deployment here against to the ECC, so we have a resource set for 23 or 24 hours, any amount of hours,
right.
and if I have a demand for a certain period for a product, so I'm gonna have in that resource, if that resource is set at finite capacity, then I can run the NPS and I'm sorry, the capacity leveling as well. So what is the difference from capacity leveling from ECC to this deployment that you have in your screen?
Yeah, it may be the same functionality you will have, but when you are running a planning in APO, you have to go with the capacity leveling in APO itself, and that like this planning book and the capacity, how you can view, that will have an advantage.
Yes.
And with this, I don't know how many features you have here. Is that the same features that what we have here or different? Like here in this one, you have a you have an option to choose without priority with source size and depending like this, descending, ascending, order fixed or like this. These facilities are available or not in ECC, I'm not sure, but these are some advantages maybe there here with these options.
True.
And the view here in the planning book, this is a advantage, like you can view how on each resource it is occupied, how it is shifted into the next buckets, what is the situation now, that you can see easily in this planning books. If you are loading all products together, you can drill down and select this here. With these header settings, you can choose which resource is that one.
Maybe I mean more about the, see, for example, in ECC, you might not possible to plan in a resource for several plants or several distribution centers, or for, including several from on demand from several store locations for or customer locations. So you have the minimum resolution for the ECC is days, and I maybe wonder if here in SNAP we have different features more than the parameters you showed me in that heuristic. Maybe.
Yeah.
So here you run this example only for one location. I think so, or maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, some additional features may come here, and if you can check both resource together also, you can check, like if you want to club some resources together and check how much it is occupied, that also is possible. Okay, total available capacity is 138 here and is occupied like this. You can check like that also, and you can drill down the each product and check how it is showing like that. Some additional will come in the APO.
Is that possible? Okay, is that possible to have a one product assigned to different resource?
Yeah, here it is this same one product 2320 is assigned to these two products, two resources.
Okay, fine.
So whenever we make an A order here on this product 2320, it is occupying on these two resources. Okay, how it is, how the two or one will be known here is if you go into the recipe.
Mm-hmm.
C203, check the resource recipe 320 and location 1000. So here, how based on the operations, how many resources you have assigned here, those many resources will be occupied for each order, this product. Here we have only two resources assigned for this product, so it will occupy these two resources.
Okay.
Whenever an order is created. So if you have like that, you can choose, you can assign 3-4 products, 3-4 resources also. Like that, you can assign the same resources for several products. Okay. So here, if you observe, here it is showing as for producing 300 quantity, the machine hour is 1. This setup hour and labor hour is not required, because if you go into the resources, the capacity tab, if you see and check the what is the formula,
Yeah. Yeah.
it is multiplying only with the machine, not with the operational setup.
That is important. Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah, so it will consider only a machine, and that has to be compulsorily you have to assign either more than 0 quantity here, then only it will go into the APO system perfectly, otherwise it will show some error. So this machine is showing as a 1 hour, means for producing 300 quantity you required 1 hour. So like that, if you producing 6,000 quantity, how many hours? 6,000 by 300, if you say 20 hours will come. So for producing 300 quantity you required 1 hour. For producing 6,000 quantity, how many hours?
20.
Yes, 20. So that is what it is showing here. Here 20 it is showing, even the 23 resource hours are per day is available, is occupied 20. So 6,000 it has created, just 20. Like that it is calculated from the next also. So here 115 is available, and then 60 it is showing as a occupied. Means that is also on the same formula. If you check on this one, second operation, for producing 100 quantity 1, producing 6,000 quantity 60. 60 is occupied. So whenever you do any change here, let's example, if you want to change this hours timing something, right, go to the change mode. If I want to change this to 300 to how much, 400, I'm changing 300 to 400, save it. So whenever you do any changes to the recipe, how you will send to the APO system is, there is a T code called cut_create. CURTO_create. This T code will be used to send the changes or initial transfer of the PDS. So we are talking about this. Logical system is assigned and the product choose 2320. location 1000. You can choose other parameters also. Here you can change whether you want to transfer only change transfer, or you can, if you don't select, it will go as the initial, means all will be sent again,
Okay.
or it will send only the changes, like that. And revert transfer deletion flag means if you delete on anything, any orders, then you can send those deletions into the API system.
Mm-hmm.
So now if I send here P, here two types. P stands for PPDS PDS, and S stands for the SNP PDS. So any changes you have to send two times. One is for the SNP PDS, another one for the PPDS PDS. First I will send for the PPDS PDS. Yeah. And then next for the SNP PDS. It has gone to the API system. The changes are transferred. But now if I choose again, it will show there is no trace, because after transferring there is no changes done, so it will not change. But if I remove this change option, if I choose only detail planning, then it will go as the initial transfer. Again, all the changes will be transferred to the API system, even though changes are done or not.
Mm-hmm.
It will go as the initial. Yeah. Now again, if I run the planning, I have to come back this planning book. Then check heuristic again. Come back.
For 400 per hour. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. For producing it of 400 quantity, now 1 hour required. Previously, for producing 300 quantity itself, it requires 1 hour. Now, if you go into the planning book now, the order situation will change. Means again it will generate the full quantity. 42,000 does generate. Now, if you check the resource here also, refresh. Again, it came to 105. Previously, some 150 something was occupied. Now it came to 105 because for producing how much previously for producing 300 itself 1 hour was required. Now for producing 400, now it requires 1 hour. So for producing 400,
But still taking account the previous run, why is overload?
yeah, it is
That
occupied with 42,000 again. That's why it is showing a 105. So here, if you see the planning, is again came back to the same situation because it has generated a new heuristic. So whenever you run a new heuristic, you need to run a capacity leveling. Again, if I run a capacity leveling,
Oh, okay. You haven't run the capacity level. Okay, good.
yeah, I didn't run.
Okay, okay.
But here this time I have selected a
Okay.
fixed capacity leveling. But let's see.
Yeah, I got.
Yeah, now it is showing like this. Okay. Your orders will change. Previously only 6,000 was generated because the capacity was less. Now we increase the 400 quantity, so it has the capacity increased.
Mm-hmm.
So it per day it is generating 8,000 quantity. That itself is coming back again to the as a 20 hours it is occupied. So, but if you see here, the orders was generated 8,000 quantity per day. Once we increase that from 300 to 400. So like that, you can do the changes. Whenever you do the changes, you have to transfer through Kato create and do the planning again. So once you do the changes, immediately it will not affect here. You have to generate a new orders, then only it will affect here.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately once you change that capacity of something in the resource in ECC, you cannot change directly here. You cannot see the changes directly here, but you have to run the planning again. Then only you will see the changes on the new settings. Okay, and here this 23 hours, how it is coming is for each resource. For each resource, if you double click on this resource, if you go to the capacity tab, go to the capacity. So here number of individual is 1. So per day it is showing 23 hours. So number of individual months total it is coming to 23 hours. That's why it is showing as a 23 hours as a available capacity. But if you check on the next resource, showing as a available as a 115. That is because if you check on the second resource, go to the capacity tab and go here. So here number of individuals are 5. So 23 into 5 is equal to 115. So per day it can occupy 115 hours. But this once it is done, you cannot change this. It is a one-time activity. For the time of creation of the resource itself, you have to define this perfectly. Otherwise, you cannot change. The change here you can change, but the changes will not be transferred to the API system. It will be fixed. Only way is you have to delete the resource in API and again send back to the API system. But the deleting in resource in API is not easy, because first you have to delete all the orders which are assigned to that resource.
Okay.
And then delete the resource. Otherwise, it will not allow to delete the resource. First orders you have to delete all of them, and PDS you have to delete, because PDS is assigned with that resource. You have to delete the PDS, then resource. Then if you want to change here, change again and you can send back. Now again if you do like that, again you have to create a PDS and then orders again you have to generate. It's a big process, but that's why you have to make sure that at the time of creation itself you have to make sure this has defined correctly. And if it is more than one, here you have to select can be used for several operations.
Yeah. Avoid matching is there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So are you getting here, Sam?
To avoid making changes in the resource, to try to make only once. And
No, it will not come into the API system.
Hmm.
Even then you can try, but here if you change it to 1, it will not come into the API system. API system will show again as a 115 only. That is because one reason for that issue is because let's go into the resource. So once it is showing as a more than one capacity, then it will come here as a multi-mixed. It has come and sitting as a multi-mixed. If it is one capacity, that is in the first resource, it is coming as a single mixed, single and multi. Because of that reasons it cannot change again. So only option is you have to delete a resource again in API and again send back from EC system. Okay. And any doubts here, Sam, in this generation capacity leveling?
Well, no questions so far, but maybe when I start to
Yeah, yeah,
practice,
sure.
a question will come
Yes.
like a rain.
Yeah. If you see here now, the 8000 is fixed. All are fixed because see here it is already all are fixed. If you go into the next, this one also showing as a fixed because in the resource where it is, yeah, here when you are running capacity leveling, you have set for order fixed, set order fixed. So it will fix the order. Now if I run a heuristic again, it will not change. I'll go to the heuristic again, and if I change, refresh, it has changed. I thought it will not change, but it has changed. Yeah, it has changed. I thought it will not change. I think it should not change, but it has changed. Maybe due to the test system or something. Okay, but any doubts in this one, this capacity leveling, is it fine, right? Let me know if you have any doubts.
Well, so finally, the main context is understood. So we have to execute the heuristic, and then we have to
Yeah,
execute the other heuristic for capacity level in the same transaction.
right.
Okay, and well, so so resource are coming from ECC. They're already customized there, and as per the capacity recorded in that resource, so we are using here in the deployment for production planning and book and for SNAP.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Just yeah, go through the same. If you have any doubts, we can see in the next classes.
Yeah, well, so I think so I'm gonna have access for one system when start to practice. So
Yeah,
because see, the most probably is that I want to create uh, at least 5 resources, um,
yeah,
2 or 5 products, several location types, and more than one production plants, distribution centers, and so maybe that will be more the approach more for real, what will
yes,
be in the real
yes,
life.
yes. That is
Yeah.
correct.
Also, so maybe I would like to ask you at the end of the training,
Okay, no problem.
retake the master data from ECC and also for SNAP, because so I have some question, but I don't know what to start. So we can continue at the end with this master record configuration,
Sure, sure.
if you don't mind, of course.
No problem.
Okay.
Okay. So see you tomorrow again. Tomorrow we'll discuss about the deployment run.
Okay. So what shall to do tomorrow? So we have so we still continue
We'll
with
run a
capacity level or
yeah, capacity leveling is over, and then we'll run a this one
okay.
deployment run.
Okay,
And
fine.
we discuss about this facial rule deployment run tomorrow.
Okay, okay. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, see you tomorrow. Bye bye.